Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Care Experience. Thanks a million for hanging on this long. In this podcast you're going to hear Thomas has done a couple of field recordings, Thomas Mongan, and he's interviewing Luke Treacy, Dillon Nolan and Andrea Martin, who have sang and performed on the Care Day video we did, Conveyor Belt, that Dillon came up with and we workshopped with the amazing Gary McCarthy GMC Beats down in the cabin down in Cork. It was a great experience for all of us, I think. I loved it anyways. I think the rest of them did too. After that then, you're going to hear Thomas. He's going to be interviewing Jasmine Mooney, aka Jazzy J, and you're going to be hearing Conor Ryan, who wrote the other song we did that we recorded with Gary McCarthy up in Dublin just before Christmas. If you log on to epiconline.ie or careday.org, you'll be able to get links to see these videos that we made with them. And yeah, they're getting really nice comments, and thanks for all the positive feedback we've been getting about the podcast so far. It's been a real joy to make. And so listen, we'll get on with it now. The first one, there may be a bit of bad language in it, just a little warning there. It's in a car, so the sound is a little bit ropey, but you get used to it and stick with it because there's some really good stuff in it.
Okay, we're in the car with the boys.
Introducing there, Thomas.
We're with Dillon. We're with Luke.
What's up?
We're at
Jesus.
Andrea.
No. I know your name, Andrea.
Right.
But like, what's your name?
Peter.
And myself, Thomas.
Yeah.
That's the gang. And we're just talking about creativity and how that helps. We're going to Cork. I was going to say down to Cork, but we could be going up to Cork. I'm not.
It is down. No, it's south. We're going down to Cork.
We're going down to Cork. I was right. Never doubt yourself. And we're going to talk to Dillon because we're recording his song. He's a fucking diva. Oh my god, I shouldn't be fucking swearing. Classic dude.
Hey.
How important is creativity to you?
I think it's just, I used to be in a music group when I was younger, and when I was kind of going through care, and I think it really kind of had a huge impact on me being able just to have an outlet to write stuff. So I think being creative and having that outlet is just so important to me anyway. And I think when I was writing this song, it was almost fun because I was almost going back to when I was younger in music, and I was so glad that I could write it for Care Day, and I could use it. It's almost like I'm getting more of a voice. I wrote it about aftercare.
Oh yeah. Oh, so what we're going to do as well, that I just thought of right now, off the cuff, smart man, genius, Lex Luthor, I don't know. We're going to also do a separate video, and we're going to get Dillon to break down the meaning of the lyrics, and we're going to do that for whoever is on the song, which is me and Luke. Are you on the song?
Harmonising on the song.
He's harmonising the song.
Voice of an angel, he has.
Actually,
I actually done the beat for the song.
Actually, I wrote the lyrics, so I should break down the lyrics I wrote. I hope that's how it goes. Yeah, so we're going to talk to Luke about his creative journey.
I don't have a creative journey, that's the thing.
Alright. That was Luke and his creative journey.
I just sing a lot.
And you play guitar as well, Dillon?
Yeah, I've been playing guitar a few years. I'm not but when I play guitar, it doesn't look like I've been playing guitar for a few years because it's not great. But I can play my chords and stuff like that. So.
And what other songs do you like writing?
So I would write just kind of stuff that have impacted me. So I right now I'm in a big political buzz. So I've been writing stuff about aftercare, stuff about kind of injustice that I would see.
Yeah.
Just being on the EPIQ council, I would have seen there's a lot of issues around homelessness and stuff with care leavers particularly being overrepresented in focus island services. So I kind of like to gear towards that because I think there's a lot of music that we hear but there's not enough music that shows the experience of young people in care.
And you'd have a very unique kind of way of looking at it.
Yeah, and I think it's important for anyone to get all those experiences out in music as well.
And do you want to talk a bit about the course you're doing? Just to explain a bit of more background.
The course. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm studying to become a social worker and in Maynooth. But I've only just started, so I'm still kind of like useless. I'll get in there.
For the people that don't agree with like social workers and stuff like that, can you answer this question? Do you think you'll ever steal a child? That's a big question.
That annoys me actually, because I was in a taxi coming back from the airport to my house, and it was a good 15-minute journey, and we were talking about what we're doing in college, and I said, I'm studying to become a social worker, and he was so the tone just changed. He was so angry. He was like, what, you're gonna just steal children? Why would you do something like that? And I said, there's so many different areas of social work, and that would always be a last resort, but he just wasn't accepting it at all. And I don't know, it was just a really awkward situation. But I think that's just what media shows of what social workers are.
I said he wouldn't agree with witches anyways, so stealing children and such.
Yeah, we'll have to edit that bit out anyway, but
Alright,
so maybe leave it in.
Andrea, do you want to talk a bit about your music, creativity and all that crap?
Well, I'm in a rock kind of blues original band. I'm doing music quite a while now. I'm a care leaver myself. So it's lovely to be part of this project with the lads and see the creativity and putting down their own life experience in music, because that's how healing takes place, and it's a great way of getting a message out there for other people that are in care or going through stuff, that's all.
One of the reasons why we're doing this podcast is to actually have a platform for people with care experience to be able to get their stories out there, to get so they're not just presented in dry old journals and they're not just in reports. Want to add a bit of kind of meat onto the humanity of the care leavers, and as we say, and the name of the podcast is the care experience. One of the great things that I love about this is the harnessing some of the creativity that is there with young people and being able to kind of facilitate this stuff, and I really love it, and I think we're going to have some really interesting stuff from the day, because we've some really great people. Some of the people we're going to be meeting down here later on, we're going to be interviewing them as well. Sean Downey is a very interesting character, so you'll be able to chat to him later on as well.
Alright. I think it's very important to be creative. I just think with regards to art and just the way you look at things is completely different than other people because of your experiences and how you're raised, and that's what impacts cultures and clothing lines, music, everything. So I think it's amazing that younger people and people that have care experience are writing about what they've been through, because it's a unique thing that hasn't really been tapped. A few months back we went to this play. It's a one-man play. It was called, what do you remember what that was called? The Removed, and it showed the journey of someone getting taken into care and life until he leaves care, and it was so interesting and it was so amazing, and it caught your attention because it was so factual, but it was executed beautifully. So stuff like that is amazing. So once there's actually more TV shows, movies, documentaries, stuff that you could, as someone from care, can actually portray to the world, it will give people more of an insight, and it'll be less pity and it'll be more understanding, which is the goal that anyone wants with any agenda that they're trying to push. And it's just amazing how how creativity can express all this.
Yeah,
you're an artist as well as a musician.
I am indeed. Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that. When's your next exhibition?
Oh, I don't know. I'm in the middle of doing college at the moment, assignments. But I would have always struggled in school, and I would have always struggled in getting my voice out there. So I find music and art a great way of expressing when I've got stuff going on in me nut. Because I would have struggled as a teenager to voice what was going on because I felt people weren't listening to me. Whereas now today, I make them listen to me, because it's okay to say you're vulnerable. It's okay to say you're not in a good place. So it's really important, if you can't voice it, write about it, sing about it, scream about it, paint it, spray a wall. Just don't get caught by the guards. And if you're having issues, like, write it down, because you know that's the power of the pen. You know, you can actually save another person's life by a song. Because I don't know how many times, Peter, if you listen to lyrics in a song, you could be driving along and you could have stuff going on in your life, and that song can actually change how you feel and your thought process.
Absolutely. An awful lot of my political beliefs and an awful lot of the way my outlook on life have been shaped by music, been shaped by, you know, I suppose Christy Moore, and an awful lot of social stuff, looking back, Woody Guthrie, and an awful lot of how Dick Gahan over in Scotland, a lot of the stuff that made me think about how resources are spread out around the world. It had to come from music, like, you know, even Rage Against the Machine, and then that would make you do a bit more research into the actual, you know, how, and an awful lot of it comes down to this, how resources are spread around the world. And I think if you've been in care, you need more resources. You know, if the state decides in its wisdom that you need to be separated from your family and put in with another family or into a residential centre, their responsibility to you does not end when you're 18, it doesn't end when you're 21 or 23. It has a responsibility to you for a lot longer, until you're sorted out, really, like, you know. The resources are there, they're just not being spread out properly. And I kind of, my journey into activism and, you know, my belief in social justice, an awful lot of that came from listening to music, and that made me think, when I was a teenager, this is the stuff that came in. So you're right, yeah, absolutely.
I remember, like, living in certain places, you know, and just listening to music and being able to get into a completely different zone, and just imagining being anywhere else but where I was. It was nearly like a drug, music, to me, because I could escape from, didn't matter where I was, once I had that song or that music or whatever, art or whatever it was, it could take me to a different place. So I think music saves lives 100%. But I think it's so important that people are creative, because, you know, sometimes we're not able to vocalise what's actually going on. So you can put it into a song, and you could be singing about stuff that probably could get you arrested, but people don't need to know that. Do you know?
Yeah.
So that's the power in music. If it's, you know, it's, I love it, and I love seeing the lads, especially Dillon. I remember Dillon sang that song that day, and I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have to do that song. And it was, you know, I think music, if music can give you goosebumps like that, it's going to give everyone goosebumps. It's going to be like chickenpox, spread, you know, it's contagious. And his lyrics and the purity in his voice when he's singing, and not only that, the fact that all the lads around him are so encouraging and saying, do it, you can do it. I love that. They're all empowering one another, and that's, I think if people were more empowering towards one another, we'd live in a much nicer world.
Absolutely. It's something I love about the Epic Council, the amount of encouragement that they get from each other, apart from Thomas, who just completely takes the piss out of people all the time. But apart from that, there's a great amount of great amount of encouragement. I play music as well, and if I don't get to play every couple of weeks, I can feel it. I can't function as well as a human being if I'm not, if not even a gig, but something creative, go and have a jam with the lads. I was we were practicing the other day, and we're still writing a lot of music, so that's all good. We haven't played any gigs for a while. Vagabonds and Thieves. Yeah.
Did you forget there?
No, I was just thinking, this isn't about my thing, it's about your thing, so. But
yeah, so creativity is amazing, because, like, as they were saying, artistic expression, it will help. It's like therapy in a way. And, like, even like creative writing, just writing stuff down, it doesn't have to be lyrics, it doesn't have to make sense, but, like, just, I find when I write, I'm writing stuff that I'm not really conscious of, and, like, it could be an underlying issue, or, like, something that, like, has been bothering me, and when I get it out, it, like, it gives me a different perspective and relief, and it's amazing just to do that and get it out of my system. And I think a lot of young people are doing that, so it should be showcased on a grander scale.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Like, it's like what Andrea was saying. Like, when I was writing that song, I just got so lost in it. And like, I wrote about my care experience, and I wrote about stuff, but not. It was such a different feeling. Like, I was just enjoying it. Like, it just was just like, it was just a brilliant experience. Like,
what I love most about music, and one of my teachers, Pete Holiday, has said to me, is like, if you're making music for just you, that's grand. Like, it'll never, like, you don't have to, like, no one ever has to listen. Just keep it in your bedroom or whatever. But if you're making music for other people as well, it has to relate to other people. And the beauty of the song is, like, it relates to so many people, and you can interpret it in so many different ways, and you can relate it to yourself. And that's what's amazing about movies, music, writing, and it's executed beautifully. So, like, it's an amazing job.
Sometimes it feels like I'm falling off a conveyor belt with no safety net. Sometimes it feels I've been sleepwalking through a maze with no end in sight. And I don't read the headlines and I don't read the news, 'cause it's easy just to lose faith every time that I do. Sometimes it feels like I'm falling off a conveyor belt with no safety net. 'Cause they've got eyes, but they just don't see all the damage they've done to people like me. They'll talk like angels, but for a price. What people are dying for their rights. No safety nets just don't exist after this conveyor belt. After this conveyor belt. So I build on myself and I feel lighter with my feet firm on the ground. Like I can breathe for the first time in a long time. I am free. And I don't read the headlines and I don't read the news, 'cause it's easy just to lose faith every time that I do. Sometimes it feels like I'm falling off a conveyor belt with no safety net. 'Cause they've got eyes, but they just don't see all the damage they've done to people like me. They'll talk like angels, but for a price. While people are dying for their rights. No safety nets just don't exist after this conveyor belt. After this conveyor belt.
Single mothers, prison cells, hopeful the homeless. Is this what you sell? Hopeless, don't know what a home is. Can you telescope this? Don't get a second chance if I fell. I need focus, left at 17 to drown in this ocean. Life hit till I broke down like erosion. Needed to escape so I drank a potion, 'cause I seek a happiness that's potent. Too many policies try to abolish me. Stand against robbery in this economy. It's like a lottery. Pocket the profit, they're making a mockery.
I'm falling down way too many times. Who do I fall on now? When the blind lead the blind, I become so lost. I'm always losing my mind. Oh, there's something that I keep trying to find. 'Cause they've got eyes, but they just don't see all the damage they've done to people like me. They'll talk like angels, but for a price. While people are dying for their rights. No safety nets just don't exist after this conveyor belt. After this conveyor belt.
Okay, the other song that we had done for Care Day.
I don't even acknowledge that song. Oh, we didn't talk about the video for the other one.
That's what we're about to talk about.
No, for our one.
We did. We
Not
just
really,
literally
no.
talked about it. Just there.
No, in proper detail.
Do you want it?
No, I'll just
We're
talk
on to
about
another
it.
bit. We're talking about this. We're just about to interview and introduce the interview you did with Jazzy J and Conor Ryan.
I'm never going to call an adult Jazzy J.
Well, what if it's DJ Jazzy J and the Fresh Prince? So is if he was like christened Jazzy J, you're still not gonna, and he grew up to be an adult, you still wouldn't talk to him as Jazzy J.
Ah,
That's prejudice.
it's the world we live in, innit?
I suppose it is.
People are trying to remove all these things, but I'm here to bring it all back.
Are you?
Yeah, like everything. I won't say what exactly because then it will be taken out of context. Even though the context would be true, I don't want a snip of like me saying this in the future. Get cancelled.
We don't want this podcast to get cancelled, so we have
No.
to be extremely careful
Just-
that we don't provoke anyone's
Yeah, yeah.
ire. Anyone's ire.
Do you know how we could do it? Whatever you hate, I hate it as well. Everyone, then no one can hate us.
But then we're haters. We're just haters.
But that's what we are in our mansion.
All the buildings. All those.
Oh, Jasmine and Connor. The guys. Hello, I'm Thomas. Peter is gone. I don't know where he's gone, but like he's gone. And this is segment 56, take 78 for the segment. It took so long to get one good take. But I'm here with Conor Ryan and Jasmine Mooney.
Yeah.
Maloney.
Loony.
Mooney, is it?
Just say Jazzy J or something.
Jazzy J, Jasmine Mooney is here. And so, Connor, what was the idea behind the song? How did it come about?
Well, it all really started in Zagreb when we were over at the Care Leavers conference in Croatia. And with that, it just kind of stemmed from a small idea of we could do a little rap about something. And, yeah.
And how did you feel about the process of recording?
It felt great. We're bringing the creativity out of it, and we're making progress with it. We made a lot of progress with it, so now it's just about getting it out there and getting people involved and getting them on board. And we want our song gone worldwide.
Worldwide. And that's a big ask for anyone. No, I'm not throwing shade or anything, but Jesus.
Can't be doing that now.
Jesus. That's going worldwide, and then Peter's band's going worldwide. My singing's going worldwide.
What singing?
You don't even know yet because it's going worldwide soon. So, you wrote the lyrics yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to break down your verse and the meaning behind your verse? That's way too long. That's way. Do you want to break down the meaning behind your verse, Jasmine?
Yeah, my verse is about the care system and falling through the cracks and all that. And then obviously there's a whole army of us that there's not only a small portion of us in Ireland of care leavers, it's worldwide. So we are an army that are leading a brighter way, a brighter future for the younger generation.
By army, I know it's a stupid thing to say, but like the people need to know, not an army of attacking people. It's not like an army of troubled individuals.
No,
it's just a community.
Yeah, it's an army of standing up together for fighting for our rights and getting our voices heard.
Oh, that's good. Because I was just concerned that people might think it's an army of just a lot of care experienced people and disposable, no parents or anything, just going boom attacking people.
No.
No.
No, that's not what the idea of the song is.
Okay, I was conflicted because that's what happened. I'm not trying to compare you to ISIS, but that's what they did. They got a load of people from care. This is controversial, I know, but it's facts. It's reality. Check the news. Am I right? So do you want to break down your verse now, Connor?
Yeah. So I've just having a little think of the verse. Really, the whole idea of my verse is all to do with trying to make change, trying to push for change. How, as we care leavers or care experience people, promote change? How can we make the system better? Kind of way.
Yeah, it's a great song, and so you came up with the idea in Croatia,
Yeah.
and then you were freestyling lyrics back and forward, and that's where the inspiration came. And from the music videos, there's beautiful shots, and there's a load of shots of people that were over there when you went over, and it's amazing to see like people from Romania and like different parts of the world coming together because of care.
It was a big kind of step up for us, because we were kind of used to kind of small like Five Nations stuff, like stuff to do with Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and ourselves here in Ireland. But to see everybody in the like in each countries like Romania, Italy, just for like they're little examples of the people that are out there who are also trying to do the same thing we are, of make kind of a positive experience of care and push the change in the systems.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to see. My question is, do you reckon with the army of like care experienced people, there's other people making songs that are trying to go worldwide, but there's only like with like minorities and like communities and all that, there can only be one at a time until like it's broken into properly. So would you rather see someone like, would you be upset if you seen someone else go worldwide with their song instead of you?
Oh God no, I wouldn't anyway, because of the fact that it's a step by step, day by day.
Yeah, we're all in it together, so it's about raising the awareness and getting out there, and whoever's on top, obviously we stand together, so it's not about who gets out there more or whatever. We're here as a community, and we're all here together to stand up for it, to fight for our rights and to get our voices heard.
That is it's amazing to hear. Like, it's just like being supportive, and it's great that you can come together and be so creative and like come from like a freestyle and then presenting that to people that were there, like, and everyone loving it and loving the idea. And the idea behind it is, of course, is to show like the different like different parts of the world experience the same thing.
Yeah.
But we're all people, and we're just all enjoying life. So it's a very it's a great thing to see.
Again, as we've kind of touched on separately, it's really all like, as the song's titled, My Side of the Story. So in the song, we're literally saying, this is my side of the story. What is yours?
Yeah.
What would you do now if the media, as I've pulled, like said about the army thing, they take that and they blow that up and they say Jasmine, Jazzy J, or maybe they like mistake with DJ Jazzy J or something and try to copyright you and sue you, but like they were like, oh, do you have an army of people, they're very dangerous, we need to stop these people, instead of like supporting them?
I'll pull them up on it and say, yeah, we're an army of care leavers that stand together. Like, we're not going to attack you, we're not going to bomb you, we're not going to do any of that. We're here to fight for our rights. We're here as a community, as a national worldwide community, to stand up and get our voices heard. Like, what more can you make it out like? An army. There is an army of us.
Jesus.
My kind of army though.
Okay. That was just, it's good that you explain yourself, so they can't just like grab it and like explode it. I think on the 56th take, you explained it perfect this time. Over the other times, it was the best this time over the other times. Like, just being honest. Okay, do you want to talk about? So like, you came back, you did a music workshop with Gary MC. GMC Beats, really nice guy, brilliant guy, from Cork, full of knowledge. He's just brilliant. And so, how did it go? Like, it was like 3 days, yeah, or 2 days.
Yeah, it was roughly. It was between about 2. You could nearly say 2.5 to 3 days, because of the way the workshop kind of worked out. Like for me, I've worked with Gary before on a separate kind of Care Day video, music video as well. And again, just going back to it's going back to basics of, right, what do the lyrics mean? How can we push your story in the lyrics? Like, it's all, like, Gary does brilliant work.
Yeah, it's all about like getting a story together and putting a story behind a song, because if you don't have a story behind a song, then it's not going to be a song then.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant topic. It's very true for songs, especially for little pumps. The songs are very like poetic and stuff. And how did you go about it? Did you do the beat or the lyric first, or like? And how did you write? Did you write as a duo, or did you write separately? Did you practice in the mirror?
Conor had this beat in Croatia, and then he was like a writer, so he writes his songs down, his lyrics and stuff. Where I was like, I'm a freestyler, so when I hear a beat, I'm able to freestyle it. So then it was kind of like all over the place, but then when we got back to Ireland, we put our thoughts down to paper, which that was a new thing personally for me, to actually sit down and write it on paper and get used to that idea. But we actually pulled it together very well, and that's how the boat was done it. But Conor came up with the beat, and then Gary mixed it up, and it came out really well. Like,
you could argue that writing is just a freestyle of thought.
No, I disagree with you on that.
I'm woke. I can answer. I can say whatever I want. So you wrote together. And how did you feel actually recording into the microphone? Was it intimidating or?
Powerful. I felt it was powerful anyway. Like, to the fact that, as I've said before, there just a few seconds.
Were you scared of the microphone? Cause
God no. God no. Like I'm once I have a mic in front of me, I don't care who hears me. I'll go off. Because
at the end of the day, a mic can't really hurt you, can it? Like,
exactly.
Unless
it's the sound of your voice that can hurt. That could hurt somebody, but it's what you do with that.
It's
voice.
The contents of what you say as well. Like, it could get you cancelled in the future.
Yeah.
So, well, what do you think about recording?
I love it. Like, it's amazing. You're bringing out the true creativity, and you're getting your voice out there. So I done it from a young age. From the age of 7, I'm singing and rapping, and then to close that off and open that back up again with the workshop, I have that creativity back, where now if I have a mic in front of me, I'll get up on the stage or in front of a camera. Like, I love the camera and the mics.
Yeah, Gary did an amazing job. Like, he completely turned the song around. It was brilliant.
Fair,
it's like he has the Midas touch. Like, when he got working on it, it was like it turned out great.
Fair, on the beat, the beat that I created over in Croatia, it was very, very amateur. But Gary took.
You'd say it was generic.
You could say, literally, you could say that, But like, Gary took it from whatever kind of backing track and stuff that I did in Croatia. He took the beat from it, switched it up entirely. Yeah. And made the song to what it is now. And
he helped with structure and the writing and all that as well.
Definitely like that.
He's just brilliant. He's over.
He's you could say he's a whiz kid when it comes to that.
He's a whiz kid.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. When we were down in Cork, we went to, like, he has like this kind of like studio kind of thing set up for like young kids and all that, and he was brilliant. Like, he was helping out, like, he was fully invested, he was fully encouraging, like, he was amazing. He's amazing working, like, and it's no wonder why he does so many like workshops and all that, because he's brilliant. Like, you have an idea, he makes straight away. He's amazing at his job, like, and I say he's one of the best in the country. Maybe he's worldwide. Do you ever think maybe Gary might go worldwide instead of you?
Yeah, but we can't forget, like, the real producer behind this, which was Peter, actually putting all his time in, videoing us, taking takes after takes and picking out spots. So fair play to Peter, because without that we wouldn't have a video to go with the song.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd say Peter Lane, one of the best bass players in oh Jesus Christ, I've never seen another bass player in my life that's that good, because I've never seen another bass player in my life. I know, but he's brilliant. He adds so much to the song. Without Peter and Gary, what is it? But an idea.
Exactly.
That's not an insult.
No, you're dead right.
And I was meant to ask something. Oh, I was going to ask. Oh, the video shoot. How did you feel shooting the videos? You got a load of scenes from when you were over in Croatia, but like, how did you feel? Like, do you want to break down some of the locations that you're at?
Yeah, like, we done it in Smithfield where graffiti and stuff were, and we had a little audience watching us, and they were coming up and they said to me, and they were like, "You're some groover," and all. So it was really, we drew attention, and for that was like, it was amazing. Like, it was absolutely overwhelming. Like, your head, it feels like your head just gets bigger by the day. Like, with that much I'm saying it wrong, but no, it's absolutely amazing that people actually stop and look and actually pay recognition, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Like, do you know what?
Wait. The people say that was amazing, or are you just throwing it out there?
No, they
No. Like there was like every so often you get a few randomers like literally stop, actually look at you, listen to you, and like wow, well done kind of way. Like when we were filming down in Smithfield, there was a lot of graffiti art that we did filming behind, which you see in the video.
Yeah.
And even it might have been like a small kind of piece, but it kind of show a kind of powerful statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shows that people as well, they do take notice of stuff like this.
Yeah, it's very acknowledgeable. Like, I would actually go out in the street and busk now after that day, because it's just like, it's amazing when you have a camera sitting there and you're getting a song together. You have all these ideas bursting through your head of what you're gonna do next.
Yeah.
But like to go back on what you were saying about this, like the scenery and stuff that we have in the video. Like Peter really done a really good job on how to, like, what kind of location should we decide to use. Like, even though he left it up to us, we kind of asked for input from Peter, and it worked out really well in the end.
Yeah, Peter is brilliant at these music videos and like short films, and there's been a few pieces where one of them was kind of like, it's like spoken word piece. I was kind of like spoken word. It was like poetry is kind of saying the same thing, and I was kind of shot around. He's brilliant. He's really good with working with people like kids and all that. Like he's an amazing mind for a ginger, and he's just brilliant, and he did a great job. Yeah, like you'd say without Peter and Gary, like, you
wouldn't have had anything there. Like if, like, as you've said there, without Peter or Gary, this only just would have stemmed from a little small idea.
Like, they're the work of the masterpiece behind all. Like, they actually encouraged us, and Peter was actually saying to us over in Croatia, no, why don't you just go up and do it, like, and we'll work on it back in Dublin. So without Peter saying that, we just would have left it aside.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
I'll finish off by saying, for people feeling hopeless, Peter got married even though he just plays bass. So that's a bit of hope for everyone. Thanks for listening.
Now we have an interview with a young care leaver called Rory Brown down in Limerick. Rory is studying to be a primary school teacher, and he's going to be telling us what himself and the other EPIC council members and advocacy officer Joe Walsh, who's a great lad down in Limerick, he's doing some amazing work down there, what they are getting up to. So listen, hope you enjoy this one. Hello Rory, how are you keeping?
I'm not too bad, Peter, and yourself?
Sure, I can't complain too much. Welcome to the podcast. This podcast is called The Care Experience. Usually it's myself and Thomas, but Thomas is in the other room getting interviewed by a journalist who they're a bit time. The time is an issue for them, so I said I'd give you a shout anyway. We'll pop this into the podcast. Tell us about what's going on down in Limerick for Care Day.
Well, on the 17th of February, we have a play coming down from Northern Ireland. So it was run in relation with VIPIC in Northern Ireland, which is the sister organisation of EPIC. And they've created a play called Removed, which is based around the lived experiences of care people in Northern Ireland. So they're coming down to LIT to perform the play for us, and it kind of goes into the backgrounds of. So there's one man playing the part. He's the main part in the play, and he goes through from the age that a child went into care, and he kind of runs through his story until he left care, and it's all about kind of. So they've brought together a lot of stories from young people and kind of mixed them all into one to just to portray it as one life. Okay. And it goes into different backgrounds, say, Joe, from the perspective of how he felt with social workers, how he got on during school, etc., as he was growing up.
I think it's great that VIPIC are a great organisation, and it's great that there is a creative outlet for all the stories from the care system, that there's a platform for that now happening. And it's brilliant that you were able to bring them down. Fair play to you.
Yeah, they were very cooperative. I know they were in Dublin there a few months back as well, and they're very kind of cooperative in making themselves available to come down to any event that they can make, if they're not booked out, and they're very willing to travel around the country.
Yeah.
And on the day we're getting, we think there'll be about 100 people coming to view the play.
That's amazing.
Which is well over what we expected.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are working with children in care or have backgrounds with care experience and things like that. So it'll be good to see how they react to this play, because while it might not promote, it kind of shows it from an experience that would never really be shown before, that social workers and themselves and everyone else wouldn't know about. So, and the effects that people can have on a care experienced child. And
that's so important that perspective is shown, because oftentimes all you hear is the social worker side, is it the foster care side. It's great to see that voice of the child is out there, even though it may be unpalatable for an awful lot of people to actually regard, to listen to. Tell us a bit about yourself, Rory. What are you studying? What are you up to these days?
Well, I'm in my third year of college.
Good man.
I'm studying to be a primary school teacher in Mary Immaculate College.
Oh, excellent.
It's been up and down as it has. It was tough trying to get into college in the first place, but there was a lot of support in the college to get me through it and things. And now that I'm settled and the whole lot, I think the main difficulty was actually settling myself in and finding the places to go and the information about where to go and things like that. But once I got going now, once I got over the first 6 months of college, I've settled in and nearly flourished, because I'm well able to talk to people and things. I've made loads of friends and things, so it hasn't been too bad at all. So
That's great to hear.
we're flying through it now.
I I I remember an awful lot. My primary school teachers an awful lot better than I remember my secondary school teachers. And I think it's an important job at that stage, of a child's development. And I think it's a great job. And I think it's great to see more men doing it as well, like doing the primary school teaching. Like,
Yeah, it's gas really because like even now, like since like there is more men getting into it, but there's still a big gap like between how many men and how many women are doing primary teaching.
yeah,
But it is the number of men in the occupation is rising,
yeah,
and like if you ask most people about teachers, it's usually their primary school teachers that they remember. So
yeah.
like even from my own experience of different things, I kind of felt that going into primary teaching was the best way forward to promote different things. I'd have different experiences than other people in primary school, and it was my primary teachers that nearly helped me through that when I was growing up and things. So I think hopefully now we'll have the same effect, but
I know.
it's kind of nice
I
to
wouldn't
see.
doubt it at all. It's funny, even in social care and social work, there's a lot less men involved in it. I don't know. Is it that we're regarded as not being able to nurture as much? You know what I mean? It's a very sexist view. It's the flip side of the women being only allowed in the house. That sexist view, the misogynist view. There's kind of a view that men are not able to nurture as well. Like it's not in us, but it is. I think it is anyways.
Yeah, like it would be like you like I think over even the last 20 years or so that view is starting to change. But before that, it was seen that most men should be doing jobs that are more physically demanding and
Yeah.
all that.
Or sitting
Sometimes
around
it's
a boardroom making decisions, making loads of money.
yeah,
Stupid
which
lads.
like I don't think that's right. Like I think everyone, no matter what, should be allowed to do whatever they
Yeah,
want to do and all that. And but I think a lot of it is a lot of I suppose men wouldn't like I suppose to be working with children
yeah.
all the time. And now I can't say that for everyone, but I
I
know a few
know.
of my friends would say they'd never go near working in a classroom. Like, but
I don't know. Is that
like
part of the toxic masculinity we hear so much about, or is that just a
that's the
societal
other
thing?
side of it. Like, it could be full well be something like that.
Yeah,
But I think it is changing, and that there is more men getting into them kind of jobs and things. And like, I think it's better because there are schools without any male representation in them at all, and
yeah,
no male role models or anything like. And it's the same for like if so for boys growing up in schools, they don't have that remote role model compared to like the girls would all have all these teachers to look up to. Now, not saying the boys don't look up to them either, but
that's true. Talking of good male role models, how did you start linking in with Epic? And you probably linked in with Joe Walsh down there, who's he's a great. He's more like a male model than a male role model. He's a he's
yes,
a
of course.
he's a great lad. I'm
Um,
very fond of Joe.
sure, I'm well used to him now at this stage. I'm getting on great with him. How did I start? Well, it started about when I was in the end of first year, I think.
Okay.
An email was sent around by the college access office. So I think Joe someone had gotten onto. I think it was Joe had gotten onto the college and explained that he was part of the Epic organization and that they were looking for people with care experience to
Yeah.
join a council and around the in Limerick for the Midwest. And that email was forwarded on to everyone that was in, but that the access office had emails for.
Yeah.
And I emailed back and said I'd love to meet up and see what the story was with this and see what was happening. And they gave me the email to send on. And I contacted Joe and all that and got involved then fairly quickly. And I remember meeting him the first day. Went to the wrong building about 3 times, but ended up in the right place eventually. But it was very easy. Joe went through everything very like clearly about what Epic was and what they were striving to do for that. They wanted a voice for young people, and they wanted young people to push their voice onto government and try and make a change. And I kind of had, I kind of liked that idea because at the time it was something that like I had younger siblings in care and things, and I just there was things that I always thought were wrong with the system that needed to be changed. So it kind of was something that kind of resonated with me fairly. So I joined fairly quickly now, to be honest, and so I'm still there nearly 2 years now. And while it's hard to commit to everything, things like Care Day are always going to be something that we'll try and strive for and things.
I think so. I love that. Why do you think Care Day is important for children who have been in care, or adults who've been in care, or children who are in care?
I think there's no other day really like Care Day around like throughout the year. Like Care Day is a day to promote the positives of care, and like if anyone hears of care, even on the news, it's all you get or hear is about the stigma of care, and that you hear the wrongdoings of things that TUSLA have done, or people like foster carers, or different rows that are happening, or you get the stigma that, oh, sure, children are care, no one wants them, and or sure, nothing will happen to them, they'll never go onto education, sure, they'll all be on drugs and drinks, and that's not reality. Like, while, like, if you look at, there's no stats out there because no one's collecting them, but
nobody's done the longitudinal study. Yeah,
and I'd love to see how many people, because I feel there is a lot of care leavers that do go on to third level education, and while it might not be straight away after school, they do try and strive if they can, but they have a lot of hurdles to get over throughout life to try and get themselves there. Like, they may not have the support and things that is needed to allow them to get through these barriers. And so Care Day like is a day that we can promote the positives, and that there is good stories out there, that there is a lot of people in care that do go onto education, that they do get their life on track, and like that it's not all about that they all go down the wrong track and they all have lives that they're going to go nowhere. It's not at all. Like, there's more positive stories, I say, than negative stories.
Exactly.
And they're just not heard or promoted.
And then there's the other side of that, is that like there's a huge amount of people do very well, and there's a perception that lots of people don't, but there's an awful lot of people then who aren't doing well, and there's an awful lot of systemic barriers for people getting accommodation and stuff like that. And it's about educating the decision makers, about making it easier for young people who have care to be able to get accommodation, to be able to get education, and to motivate them to do such a thing, you know. And there is, I think it's always interesting balancing that piece where you're presenting a bunch of young people who are smart, motivated, and hard working, but also you're kind of balancing that with the outcomes for them compared to people who aren't in care aren't as good. Like you're going to be, you know, there's more of the mean addiction and stuff, but there's a balance there about not stigmatizing people by presenting these facts, but also getting it out there, because there does need more resources. TUSLA needs more resources. The government need to put more resources into the care system, and into aftercare and into post aftercare, because I know an awful lot of young people who are a bit old young people as young as myself, who do still suffer with mental health, and I don't think that the services are there for young people post 23 that should be there. So there's always a balance between the two.
No, and see, the thing with that, like, there's like, it is hard to get the balance right. But like, there are things that need to be done, that need to be put in place. Like, especially one that I think that needs to really be put in place is that when a child turns 18 in state care, that they're nearly dumped, like, depending where they're living, like, they could be just dumped out onto the street.
Exactly.
And some of them children are, you still call them children. Some of them haven't any opportunity to go, like they're in their leaving cert years and different things, and next minute they're thrown out. They've no stability, and they're trying to, at the age of 18, trying to find a house,
in the worst housing crisis we've had since the famine,
exactly, and that's not helping things either. But and then they also have to become independent. And while most of them have a fair idea what to do, if you were a normal child in any other house, you wouldn't be expected to go out on your own at 18,
exactly,
be able to pay all your bills, work a job, pay or finish your leaving cert, try to get through college, and get a house and look for your house and do everything on your own. So
absolutely,
there is a lot of support that needs to be put in place for care leavers, and I think if that was put in place, it would drastically drop the amount of numbers that are going down the wrong paths and the wrong.
Exactly.
And you can't say that there's no one going down them paths, because there is, but it's because of no support.
Because of it's just the barriers, the systemic barriers, and the lack of knowledge about it. Listen, Rory, thanks a million for this. Right, I hope you'll come on the podcast again someday. And
I will, of course.
Keep us up to date with what's going on. You can be our man in Limerick, all right?
Right.
All right, listen. Thanks a million. Mind yourself, okay? Take care. And say hello to Joe for me, all right?
I will, of course.
All right. Mind
Thank
yourself.
you. See you later.
Bye. Thanks for listening. That was the 5th episode of The Care Experience. My name is Peter Lane. It's been my co-presenter is Thomas Mongan. I think really I'm his sidekick, in all of this. But it's been great working with him. We hope you listen to the rest of them. They're coming up. We have a very interesting one coming up next, where we are interviewing the CEO of Tusla for Care Day, and thanks very, very, very much for him to agreeing to do it. If you are a care leaver or you're in care, and if you've got anything creative that you would like to share with us, or if you think you have a voice that you want on the podcast and you want to talk to you, we're going to be doing more over the next couple of months. Log on to epiconline.ie, and my email address is peterlane@epiconline.ie. If you want to send me a message, I think Thomas has set up the Instagram page as well. I think he'll take messages there as well. And we're up on Twitter and all the other stuff as well. Thanks for everyone who took part in this podcast. It's been great. And we'll talk to you for the next one.
Like and subscribe to the Caresystem podcast.